Welcome to this Expert Insight. I'm Sherry Trigg, Editor and Director of Content with Medical Design Briefs, and we are here with Anthony Bracale, Director of Strategic Accounts, and Cassie Haupers, Global Director of Business Development at Vantedge Medical. They will talk to us about new product development and how First Step, a collaborative product-based approach, can optimize a seamless transition from prototype to production. Can you each please tell us a bit about yourselves and your respective roles at Vantedge Medical?
Sure. Thank you, Sherry. It's nice to be here. My name's Anthony Bracale. I'm Director of Strategic Accounts for Vantedge Medical. I've been in the industry on the MedTech side for about coming on 10 years. Prior to that, I spent most of my career in the steel industry. So I'm on the manufacturing side now, and I'm happy to be on the Vantedge Medical team.
And I'm Cassandra Haupers, you could call me Cassie like you did, Sherry. Global Director of Business Development. I've been in the space, Anthony, believe it or not, 17 years, man. I got you beat here. But prior to this role, I was in operations and have stepped over into the commercial space. But thank you, Sherry, for having us.
Wonderful. So what is the First Step program and how does it differ from your standard manufacturing services for medical device components?
So we like to think of First Step as a basket of solutions. The way it originated was really kind of voice of the customer. We surveyed a lot of the major OEMs that we work with and tried to identify where the pain points were in new product development for MedTech. So, the whole suite of what we offer through First Step aims to really be an answer to those problems, from prototyping to the iterations that you go through that process, delivering precision prototypes, which has been a challenge with some of the traditional methods of getting prototypes. So we deliver parts to print, and we start from the very, very beginning, the earliest point in the process. Sometimes we're just paper sketches, right? So we take that product all the way through. We learn all the way. So I like to say we own the learning curve. Mm-hmm. So what that does is it compresses the time that it takes to get to market. Every NPD project that I've had in MedTech, ultimately there's a lot of pressure on the OEM side to get that product developed, get it validated, get the manufacturing process dialed in, and get that product to market. So that's really what First Step is all about.
And Sherry, if I can just jump in on that, I think Anthony hit the nail on the head on it, but it really also allows us to collaborate with design for manufacturing and design for assembly upfront as well, and really allows Vantedge to get an understanding of where the end device is going to be used. That's like another key element of First Step as well.
Excellent. Well, so can you walk us through the steps involved in the First Step process from initial contact to prototype delivery?
Sure. I'd be happy to. So, like I mentioned earlier, we want to get into the game very, very early with, kind of an initial meeting to understand, what the deliverables are on the customer side. Right. We want to understand the product, what its intended use is, how it's going to change the world, or improve the life of an individual. So we really kind of get in and start with that understanding, move to design review. Sometimes, like I said, it could be a sketch. A lot of times it's usually some rough draft drawings, and we get into the DFM process. On the OEM side, your engineers and product designers, they have the patient in mind, which is key throughout the whole process, mm-hmm. right? And they consider the patient and then the surgeon who's going to use that instrument or device, its fit, feel, function on that side. And when you bring it to a manufacturer like Vantedge Medical, those things are all rightly important. But we look at it as, how do you make it? Mm-hmm. How are you going to make it? Or, and challenge the tolerances, go through the DFM. And that just kind of kicks off the whole process. And then it turns into, prototype needs and in all those iterations that get it to final form.
Right, right. So for high precision components, what metrology tools and verification processes are used to validate these precision tolerances?
Like anything, it depends on the project, right? And what the needs are. Vantedge across all of our sites has a wide range of different metrology capabilities, different brands of CMMs and touch probe, infrared, white light, optical laser scanning, you name it. We have a way to inspect it, measure it, and make sure that it's right. Cash, you want to jump in on any of that?
Yeah, certainly. And I think the big thing there is it allows us to align with our customers on how they're going to be inspecting when they, receive the product on the incoming side.
Yeah.
First
Yeah,
step does allow that partnership up front. And it's very key to get that right out of the gate. Yeah,
having inspection correlation between the manufacturer and the OEM is really critical. And with the broad base of instruments that we have, a lot of times we could share the programs and oftentimes use the same machine to perform the inspection. That way, that correlation data, if you're measuring it on our end on one machine and they're measuring it on another, a different machine, a lot of times you don't correlate. So correlation is key. Helps the process move along a lot faster and smoother.
Excellent. So how does your team proactively address DFM issues before prototyping begins?
With a lot of discussion. I think, a lot of times when we see early prints, initial prints, parts are made perfectly. The corners are crisp. The design is usually a little bit challenging in a stamped component, long parts and flatness requirements, you name it. These are all things that I think need a hearty discussion and to be challenged. On the OEM side, there's always going to be cost pressure. They've got to be competitive in the market. So a lot of the DFM goes to really optimizing a process to make a component. So, it's just back and forth. And what's good about First Step is we really roll all the available resources that you'd want into the project. So it wouldn't be uncommon for us to have a Teams call or a face-to-face meeting where we have a tool maker, we have application engineers, we have QEs and MEs, all the right people in the room, which brings, a real wide range of perspectives on focused on this part. So, I think the DFM piece is critical. You get through a round or two of prototypes, and then it changes, and then there's more DFM. So it really is. It's a great process, and when you think about the number of people that we bring together in some of these teams to develop the projects, one of the best comments I heard, there was an executive for one of our OEMs in on the call. And these are engaging, lively calls, right? He said, I couldn't tell who was on what team. It's just a deep level of collaboration. And again, with, the goal is to get that product developed and get it to market, develop a reliable supply chain for it, a repeatable supply chain. So that's what we aim to do.
And one more thing to add to that, Sherry, too, is, the OEMs have their arena of expertise, but then they're allowed to lean on us for the machining and manufacturing side. And that's where we're the experts and we're able to help them. And then bringing those two pieces together, like Anthony said, we're all on the same team. It makes the design work for everything, for the patient, and then also in the manufacturing, the quality side of things, all of it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So once a prototype is validated, how easily can it transition to high volume production?
Yeah, once the prototype gets to, once you get to design lock on the part, That's when it starts to go over the fence into the operation side and into scale production. One of the big things about First Step is we have dedicated equipment and dedicated resources that are focused on delivering the prototypes and development. Good thing about Vantedge Medical is a lot of times the equipment that we're running the prototypes on is the equipment that we're going to scale up and run into production. That's a benefit to us because that allows us to move very rapidly. We've got hundreds of CNC machines across our company. So when you're doing this, if it's a machine part, you just transition that into production. And with the broad team, we have operations folks in the mix. So it's not like we go through all this development work and then we heave it over the wall to operations. They're aware of it. They know what's going on. They know what the expectation is for the customer, and they know what the deliverable is. So that whole scale up piece, it's a pretty smooth transition, and it moves us forward fast.
Wonderful. So let's wrap it up with this. How does your culture of craftsmanship show up in the way teams work with customers?
And I'll start off with this one, Anthony, if you don't mind.
Please.
And Sherry, we didn't really talk about Vantedge Medical, but it is a combination of 7 different sites across the U.S. and a makeup of 5 different companies coming together up under this Vantedge Medical brand. And back in 2023, we rebranded to Vantedge Medical. Okay. And what was really neat is we were able to bring in these culture, core competencies, really what Vantedge is about and what it means. And there's a few that stand out to me, and I'm sure Anthony can say what stands out to himself as well. But it's this no nonsense, like the expertise that we have, our dedication to craftsmanship and quality. And that is real. I mean, because we are helping improve lives and help improve lives. And, you need to have that dedication and that willingness to work hard, that, like I said, no nonsense mentality. And I get frustrated with fluff. So I like to see when things, happen. And I think it's really awesome to see, not just in our First Step program at Vantedge Medical, but once you also get into the scalable state of things, really just those key things coming out. Yeah.
If I could add to that, one of the terms that we hear often is grit. If you look at the cross section of our company and most of the people that you'll engage with, no nonsense people. Cassie used the word fluff. There's not a lot of fluff. We dig in. We're experts at what we do. We're very grounded. The parts we make are high precision, and I like to say that we're no nonsense. I mean, just as a company, that grit, that dig in. It's what I see in all the people that I deal with across the company. We're 7 companies wide, plants wide across the U.S., and it's a very similar culture from plant to plant. The people are reliable. The promises we make, our customers rely on them to have when we say they're going to. And then on the technology side, it's a cutting edge culture. If you look around our plants and the capabilities that we have, the kinds and types of equipment that we have, it's the best in the world. So that, I think, sums up who we are from a culture standpoint.
Well, I really appreciate both of you joining me today for sharing information about this program and how it enables this seamless transition and presents your customers with this collaborative approach. Thank you so much.
Oh, hey, thanks for having us. I hope anybody who sees this, if they want to engage with Vantedge Medical on a First Step program, give us a call. Thank you.
Thank you.